Hello, Oracles. Well, without fail, we knew that we would have some Tesla customers come out and be angry about the fact that Tesla dropped their prices. These people were, of course, the people who bought their Teslas a week before Tesla dropped their prices. So, we've got some articles that we're going to go over today, sharing these angry people who are out there just frustrated about the fact that their Tesla lost, up to 20% in value within 1 week. And then we're also going to dive into the reason why ICE customers should actually be a lot more upset looking back at history and looking at their purchases as to why their cars lose value even faster. We'll get into that in a minute. All right, so in this article on Fortune.com, Tesla owners lash out at Elon Musk after he slashes car prices by thousands of dollars. I feel like I got duped. Marianne Simmons, a self professed Tesla fangirl, bought her second electric vehicle from the company in September, a white high performance Model Y, ringing in at more than $77,000. Then the company slashed prices on Thursday, and she realized she could have bought the same car today at $13,000 less. I feel like I got duped. I feel like I got taken advantage of as a consumer, said Simmons, 32, a web designer in Naples, Florida. Right off the bat, I'm out $13,306. It's such a large reduction that it's going to affect a lot of people who just bought a vehicle. That's the reality facing owners of Tesla Inc. vehicles after the company cut the price of its cars as much as 20%. For existing customers, the resale value of the cars they own will take a hit along with the drop in prices of new models. For any existing owner, it's a kick to the teeth, said Ivan Drury, director of insights for research website Edmunds.com. Anyone who bought a Tesla recently will feel an immediate impact, wish they leased it. Drury said the new vehicle price cuts will hit used cars immediately and could lower values even further. Now, they did go on to say, in fairness, Simmons and other Tesla fans aren't the only car buyers who will see their resale values fall. Used model pricing fell 15% in December, while new ones hit a record average of nearly $50,000, according to researcher Cox Automotive. Tesla's price cuts have been the biggest among new car sellers. Its more expensive models took the biggest hit. Model Y base prices are down 20% to start at $53,000. The performance edition of the car that Simmons bought is down 19%. The larger Model S sedan's Plaid edition was cut 14%. And this article goes on to list several other people who are complaining about how much money they could have saved if they had waited and how much less their car is now worth, all because of the fact that Tesla decided to drop their prices. And then we've got Simmons coming back in saying, I would not buy a Tesla again, Simmons said. That's saying a lot for me. I was a huge Tesla fangirl. I'd go with a competitor like Lucid or Rivian. And now, to be quite honest, reading through this article, it seems like a very strong slander piece. Seems like they're just really beating up on Tesla for no reason whatsoever. To me, that's what it seems like. You guys can let me know in the comments below what it seems like. And I did link the entire article in the description if you guys want to read through it. It's a pretty brief article to go through, but it just seems like a slander campaign to me. And these people who are outraged, I took a step back and I was like, but from my knowledge in growing up, I was always under the impression that vehicles basically lose their value the moment they're driven off the lot. And I was like, well, that's what I was under the impression of. So let me do some research myself to find out what the average depreciation is of vehicles as soon as they leave the lot. And so I found this article from RamseySolutions.com where they discuss car depreciation. What is car depreciation? Car depreciation is the difference between how much your car was worth when you bought it and what it's worth when you sell it. The value of your car goes down over time with the wear and tear of everyday use. So, the more you drive your car, the faster your car's value will drop or depreciate. Makes sense, right? If you bought a car tomorrow for $20,000 and then sold it 3 years from now for $12,000, that means your car lost 40% of its value during the 3 years you owned it. That's car depreciation in a nutshell. So, what causes a car to depreciate? Now, several factors can put a dent in your car's value. Some you can sort of control, and others you can't. Here are some of the biggest factors that lead to car depreciation. Mileage: the more miles you drive, the less your car will be worth. But if you can keep your car's mileage down, your car will hold more of its value. Fuel economy: have you seen many Hummers on the road lately? That's because car buyers like cars that get more miles per gallon. Shifting consumer preferences: like fashion trends, people's tastes in cars tend to change. Some years, folks prefer sedans. Other years, they prefer SUVs. More popular car models won't depreciate as much as others will. Condition: damage to the car, both to exterior and interior, will put a dent in your car's worth when you try to sell it. Reputation: a car that's built to last will hold its value more than a model that has an unofficial reputation for breaking down or is constantly in the news for recalls. This may be a reason why we see a lot of Tesla recalls or software updates that come out regularly, because the competition is trying to drive down the depreciation value of Teslas. So here's the big question: how quickly do cars drop in value? Okay, while there are many factors that go into how and why cars depreciate, there's one thing that is almost always true no matter what type of car you buy. New cars depreciate much faster than used cars do. How much faster? Let's just say we hope you have your seatbelts on. After 1 minute, that's right, 1 minute, a brand new car loses somewhere between 9 and 11% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. So with a $30,000 new vehicle, you're basically throwing $3,000 out the car window as you drive the car home for the first time. So for those people who were upset because their price came down on their Teslas by 20%, that was the highest for the Model Y, was 20%. That's just because Tesla chose to drop the prices on the car. That's not from depreciation. Tesla's depreciation we're going to go over in a minute. However, when it comes to legacy auto and the ICE vehicles that are drifting off the lot, they are already losing half of what Tesla took down in their prices, 9 to 11% within the first minute you drive it off the lot. After 1 year, research shows that new cars suffer the biggest drop in value within the first 12 months of ownership. After 1 year, your car will probably be worth about 20% less than what you bought it for. So there you go. So Miss Simmons, who bought her vehicle back in September and now saw that price drop by 20%, guess what? Come this September, it would have been 1 year. Any ICE vehicle would have also lost 20%. And now after 5 years, after that steep first year dip, the new car will depreciate by 15 to 25% every year until it hits the 5 year mark. So after 5 years, that new car will lose around 60% of its value. And here's the breakdown in the chart for a typical vehicle that is $30,000. So after 1 minute, it's worth $27,000. 1 year, it's worth $24,000. 2 years, $20,400. 3 years, $17,340. 4 years, $14,740. 5 years, $12,530. And so then the next question that I ask is, well, how does Tesla fare compared to these numbers? Does Tesla depreciate the same way? We have heard over the last couple of years, we saw during the pandemic that, heck, you could have bought your Tesla. Investing in a vehicle itself was actually a great investment because they couldn't put it out enough vehicles. Lead times were very long. So people were actually selling their vehicles for more than they bought them for. But the pandemic was a one-off situation. So we're going to dive into some numbers here to explain Teslas themselves, sans the pandemic, what is their actual depreciation compared to ICE vehicles that are driven off the lot, depreciating 9 to 11% within the first minute. So I found an article from news.energysage.com asking, do Teslas hold their value? When you think about electric vehicles, is Tesla one of the first names that comes to mind? If so, you're certainly not alone. Tesla was one of the first EV brands to gain notoriety in the US, and they currently sell the most popular EVs. However, compared to some other EVs available on the market today, Teslas come with a premium price tag, making it important to consider if they're worth the cost. In this article, we'll help you understand if Teslas hold their value over time. So, do Teslas hold their value? Simply put, yes. Despite initial depreciation, Teslas prove to be a good investment compared to other cars. Teslas depreciate slower than gas-powered vehicles. Compared to the regular gas-powered vehicles, Teslas depreciate at a slower rate. One of the main reasons why Teslas retain their value even several years after initial purchase is their mileage range. Most Teslas will last over 500,000 miles, while the average person drives only 13,500 miles per year. So their depreciation is not typically evaluated based on mileage like traditional vehicles. Rather, it's evaluated through their remaining battery capacity. On the other hand, some gas-powered cars depreciate up to 60% in the first 5 years, while other cars just remain as scrap value. This is what we just went over. Internal combustion engine vehicles, aka gas powered cars, contain over 2,000 moving parts, compared to just 20 in EVs. Therefore, the cost of repair and maintenance is far higher for gas powered cars, which contributes to their faster depreciation. Overall, when determining how quickly your car will depreciate in value, it's important to consider factors like warranty, anticipated maintenance, the model, and any add ons you purchase, the condition of the car, the EV's range, and the mileage on the odometer, or the remaining battery life for EVs, which will all impact its eventual resale value. So, a couple of key points that they make here are Teslas continue to improve. First, the cost of batteries is continuing to drop every year. Lithium ion batteries, the batteries that power EVs, cost $1,000 per kilowatt hour in 2010, but in 2017 cost just $200 per kilowatt hour. These lower costs make batteries easier to replace in your EV, boosting its resale value and extending its life. Another important thing to note is that Tesla will likely implement full self driving capability into many of their existing EVs in the future, which will increase their resale value. Teslas purchased after 2019 will be eligible for the software updates that will enable FSD, slowing the rate of depreciation for these vehicles. You do have to add the FSD capability when you purchase a Tesla, though, or at any point through the Tesla app or website. Tesla did announce that as of September 5th, 2022, FSD capabilities will cost $15,000. Prior to that date, it's available to add to the Tesla you purchase for $12,000. And now that's important to note because while the value of the vehicle itself, due to battery life, may come down to cause depreciation, when FSD continues to improve and the price of FSD continues to go up, that there balances out any depreciation in the vehicle itself because you may have FSD. That value itself could go up. So for people who bought FSD for $12,000 earlier in 2022, their car value went up by $3,000 as soon as they raised the price for FSD. The next piece is Teslas are in demand. If you've ever tried to purchase a Tesla before, you know they're in high demand. Most people hoping to buy a Tesla have to wait about a year before they can start driving in their new EV. Now, this is a more recent article, but clearly we know that that has changed more recently, and you can basically get a Tesla, within a day or two because they're usually in inventory. I will be updating those inventory numbers this weekend. Next, Tesla's warranties help protect your investment. While EVs come with fewer moving parts, there are some pricier components such as the main battery and drive unit, your Tesla's electric motor, inverter, and gearbox. And while these have come down in price as mentioned previously, they are still costly to replace. The good news is Tesla's warranty does a good job of covering you in this area, helping to further protect your investment and add value if you do sell yours. Tesla offers a minimum 8-year or 100,000-mile warranty on your battery and drive unit, whichever comes first, with minimum 70% retention of battery capacity over the warranty period. Some models like the S and the X offer even longer mileage limits going up to 150,000 miles. And they also break down how the Inflation Reduction Act will affect Tesla's resale value as well. So bottom line is, for anyone out there who is complaining and upset that the fact that Tesla dropped their prices and the Tesla that they bought 2 weeks ago is now worth up to 20% less than what they paid for it, my questions to them are, well, how long do you plan on keeping it for? Did you buy it just so you can resell it immediately? Or did you buy it because you wanted to use it for your own personal use? Because over time, the depreciation on the Tesla is going to be significantly better than any ICE vehicle. Tesla doesn't lose 9 to 11% the minute you drive it off the lot. Teslas are going to hold and retain their value significantly longer, which means that 5, 10, 15 years down the road, if you want to resell your Tesla, there's a very good chance you are going to be able to make a lot more money on that than you would from an ICE vehicle. Now remember, part of that has to also do with the fact that we are going into the EV revolution. We are in the middle of it right now. So in turn, ICE vehicles are not going to be holding their value at all over time. So my question to these people is right off the bat, if you're upset about the fact that your Tesla lost 20% of its value because Elon decided to drop the prices in 1 week, how did you feel 2 years ago? Anybody who bought it? Miss Simmons, who was in here, said this was her second one. Well, how about her first one? And that price went up and she could have sold that for more than she bought it for. How did she feel during those times? I bet you she didn't feel this way at all. So a lot of these people who are out there complaining about this, to me, seem pretty selfish and relatively uneducated when it comes to the entire automotive market and how the vehicle depreciation works just from driving your car off of the lot. Your car is going to lose its value almost immediately, and it's going to depreciate very quickly over time. Even if you keep it in pristine condition, it's still going to lose that value significantly. Whereas with a Tesla, it does not lose that value as quickly over time. And so, based upon the numbers that we saw today, anybody who bought a Tesla a week before Tesla dropped their prices realistically would just need to wait 1 year. And after 1 year, any ICE vehicle that these customers bought would be in the same situation. The other point is Tesla just dropped their prices. Tesla literally undercut all of their competition with prices. Do you really think that all of the competition is just going to hold their prices steady? Nah. Pretty sure that they're going to be dropping all of their prices as well. So, all of these people who say that they're going to go over to the competitors, have at it. You go ahead and go buy your Rivian or Lucid because guess what? Pretty sure they're going to be dropping their prices pretty soon too, and you're going to be just as angry. This is why tech is a deflationary product. These vehicles, these EVs, are technology. It's not like an actual car. Technology is going to end up getting better over time, and the price will come down. It's new technology. That's what's naturally going to happen over time. You're going to get a better product for a lower price. It's no different than iPhones, Androids, smartphones. This is just how these companies find their bearing. They find the supply and demand, they move pricing around as need be, but the technology is always going to improve. Eventually, we'll find a stabilization point where prices basically stay the same, may come up incrementally over time, but it's going to take some time to get there. Again, we saw that same thing happen with smartphones back 10 years ago. So you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about all these people who are so upset about the prices coming down? What do you feel about your ICE vehicles? Did you experience the same thing with depreciation with your ICE vehicles when you bought them in the past? How are you feeling yourself? If you are somebody who just bought a Tesla recently before the prices came down, how are you feeling about that yourself? It's okay to be open and honest here. No one's going to judge. So go ahead and let us know in the comments below if you feel upset by this as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We will see you in the next one.